friends, welcome back to my channel. We're here today with another Vlogmas video, another book list, another book challenge. Today's challenge comes to us courtesy of Rosalie, who is someone I buddy read books with. I belong to a small group with myself, Rosalie, and Columbus. And neither of them have booktube channels, but you may know them. They come on here sometimes and comment on videos. In any case, I asked people to send me a video or a picture of their bookshelf because, you know, we were talking about how sometimes when we're watching things on TV and they're interviewing someone might come on, especially now during the COVID pandemic, the heart of the pandemic, when news correspondents weren't actually coming into studios, and we saw a lot of people filming from their homes and doing Skype interviews, and a lot of them showed up in front of their bookshelves, kind of like how I am. And whenever I'd be watching them on TV, sometimes I wouldn't even know who's on screen. I'm there looking at their bookshelves. And last year, I think last year was probably a really interesting time for seeing what was on people's bookshelves, because I think people were a little strategic with some of the books that they were putting, like during the middle of the Black Lives Matter protests, a lot of people were putting casts right behind them on their bookshelves. So it was really interesting to see. Regardless of that, I just like to see what's on people's bookshelves. And so it sparked my interest to ask you guys, my subscribers, my viewers, to send me pictures of your bookshelf, because I'm voyeuristic like that. And some of you sent me clips and some of you didn't send me. So I asked you personally, send me a picture of your bookshelf. And so Rosalie said yes. So long introduction to say today's book list is a shelf from Rosalie's books that she's read some time ago. She also sent me a list, but we'll come to that another time. Today we have 42 books that we're just going to go through. So I'll show you Rosalie's bookshelf. And so here are the books, and you're going to tell me how many of these titles you've read, and I'll tell you how many I've read. Spoiler alert, it's not that many for me. I hope you do better on this list, because like I said, these lists are probably skewed for one type of reader or another. Maybe today's your day. So here's what's on Rosalie's bookshelf. First is, before we go through the list, we have to sing, right? Because it's Vlogmas. We're making a book list and checking it twice. We're gonna find out who's been naughty or nice. Book lists are coming to town. It's book lists, Vlogmas style. Today's day 14. That means we've now been doing these book list challenges for 2 weeks. It's exciting. I hope you'll stick around for more. Today's book list. Book number 1 is Latin Rising, an anthology I have never read. Number 2 is Black from the Future, a collection of Black speculative writings I've never read. Number 3, What Did Miss Darrington See? I've never read. Number 4 is Women's Glib. That's a no for me as well. Never read it. Number 5, Blackwater, Anthology of Fantastic Literature by Alberta Manguel. Never read it. It's nice to see her bookshelf though. Number 6, The Literary Ghost, edited by Larry. I couldn't make out that last name. I'll put it on here. In any case, I haven't read it. Number 7, Revenge, short stories by women writers. Haven't read it. Number 8, A Place Between Stations. Interesting title, but I've never read the book. Number 9 is Louisiana. Never read it. Number 10, Villette by Charlotte Bronte. Haven't read it. It's on my TBR, but I haven't yet read it. Agnes Grey by another Bronte sister. I also haven't read it. The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. Haven't read it. Shirley by another Bronte sister. Also haven't read it. The Professor by Charlotte Bronte. Also haven't read it. So 5 Bronte books. I haven't read any of them. Next is Alice Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, and that's on there twice, so I'll just count each title as one. So if you've read Alice Adventures in Wonderland, give yourself a point. If you've read Through the Looking Glass, then give yourself another point. I haven't actually read either one. I know the story. I've read like the children's version of the story, but I've never read the actual novel. So no, that's a no for me as well. Next is The Bloody Chamber. I haven't read it. So we're at number 17. I haven't gotten a point yet. Number 18 is a bind up of 3 books, 3 stories by Angela Carter. So give yourself a point if you've read either of these. The Magic Toy Shop, The Infernal Desire Machines of Dr. Hoffman, or Wise Children. Those are 3 stories by Angela Carter. I haven't read any of them. Next is The Players Come Again by Amanda Cross. I haven't read any of them. The Hours by Michael Cunningham. Interesting because I have a copy, don't I? Yeah, I have a copy right here, but I haven't yet read it. Someday. Next is Mr. Tompkins in Wonderland by Garno. I haven't read that one. Next is Spending by Mary Gordon. I haven't read. The Wind and the Willow by Kenneth Graham. I haven't read. So we're at number 25. I still don't have any points. Next is Monsignor Quixote by Graham Greene. I have a Graham Greene novel on my TBR this month, but I haven't yet read it, and I haven't read any Graham Greene, so that's also a no for me. And next is Just an Ordinary Day by Shirley Jackson, which I also haven't read. This is getting embarrassing. Next is The Country of the Pointed Firs. I haven't read. Sea Road by Ursula K. Le Guin. A couple of years ago, I decided I was going to try out Ursula K. Le Guin's fiction. I read one of her novels. This wasn't it. I intend to read more from her, so maybe I'll get to Sea Road at some point, but so far, that's a no for me. Next is a title in Spanish, Te trataré como a una reina by Kay Montero. Is that work like a queen? I'm not sure. But no, I haven't yet read it. Next are 2 titles by Toni Morrison, Song of Solomon, which I have not read, and Sula, which I have read. So finally, number 32, and I finally get a point. Next is Housekeeping by Marilyn Robinson. I have not yet read that. I'm still working on her Gilead series. Next is Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie, which I have read, and I own a copy. Yay! I'm at 2 points. Also, Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. I haven't read that one. So 2 points for me so far. Next book is The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. I haven't read. The Stone Diaries by Carol Shields. I haven't read. The Reader by Bernard Schlink. I have a copy of The Reader. And I was looking at it the other day and saying, I should really read these short books that have been on my shelves for so long that I haven't yet read. So I thought about it, but I still didn't read it. So no, that's a no for me on that one. Memento Mori by Muriel Spark is on my TBR this month, but I haven't yet read it. Next is Olive Ketteridge by Elizabeth Strout, which I have a copy and I have read it. So yay, I'm at 3 points. Next is Mariana by Catherine Vaz, which I haven't read. And John Dollar by Marianne Wiggins, which Rosalie told me about today, and I'm entranced by the premise of the story. It's kind of Lord of the Flies, but with girls. And so I intend to read that at some point, but I haven't yet read it. So those were 42 titles, and I've read 3 of them. Would love to know your score in the comments down below. I hope you did better than me. This was a kind of eclectic mix. If you like classics, there's some books here. If you like some contemporary fiction, there's some things here. And if you like short story collections, there were some things here that maybe you got points. I hope you did. Would love to know your score down in the comments. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll be back tomorrow with another list, and hopefully I do better. Hopefully you do better on the list tomorrow. But this was fun, right? Because we can't all ace all the lists. Like I know some of you got like 80 points on the list yesterday with the books and movies. So this was a nice coming back down to earth, right? At least that's how I'm choosing to see it. Thank you so much, Rosalie, for sharing your bookshelf with us. This was a treat. I love seeing people's bookshelves. If you still want to participate, we're going to keep this going as long as I still have ideas for book lists. And I think we could go on like this and infinitum. So we'll be back tomorrow with another book list. I hope you'll join me for that. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.